If we called out every time we saw something false, misleading or erroneous online in any given day, well, we probably wouldn't have any time to do anything else, because it's just part of life in this digital age. There's just stuff out there that is just designed to put you along the wrong path, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally by the person that's posted it. For that reason, I don't have a Facebook page, and I try and spend a minimal amount of time looking at such things. But I've asked myself in recent days, what is the point that you reach where you no longer can just sit by and just not say anything? Because everyone has to live with their conscience. And for me, it's the point where I see information being put out that isn't only false or misleading, but it's the sort of information that can compel people to make decisions that are not only contrary to their best interest, but downright dangerous to their future. So that's the reason for this video. We talk a lot about Paraguay. We love the place, we speak well of it, and for us it's been a really good move. That's the space that I tend to spend a lot of time thinking about, and I see a lot of other people doing likewise, and that's great, because the more information out there, the better, as long as it has some substance of truth. When we left the place that we were living and moved to Guatemala and then through South America to Paraguay, we have been through some of the most beautiful country in the world. But we didn't start our channel until we got to Paraguay, put some roots down and experienced the place. And only then did we start putting content out, and it was based on at least some level of experience in whatever we're talking about. We're not the single source of truth, but whatever we talk about, we either do everything we can to get the right information or experience it ourselves, or at the very least not put stuff out there that's just patently untrue. We're not a travel-oriented video platform. We are a living in Paraguay platform. We want to present the reality, not the dream. In recent times, we've seen a proliferation of people coming to Paraguay. It's now on the tip of everybody's tongue. And some may say that's fortunate, others may say not so fortunate. I think to a very small degree, perhaps we've had some influence on that, and I sometimes wrestle with my conscience about that, to be honest. But the main purpose of our channel, as I say, has been to help those that have decided to come here do it in a good way, because there's no point coming and getting done over or stung or making bad decisions that can affect your future. Amongst the many that have been coming here, predictably and inevitably, there's some that have arrived in recent months, and in other cases even weeks, who are busy about making panoramic productions on Paraguay, which in itself is a lovely thing, because the more we can see of this beautiful country, the better. But if they were confined to just travel type blogs, showing you beautiful sights of the country and leaving it at that, I'd say brilliant, bring it on. But what we're seeing is that not infrequently there are creators who are putting things up there that are in the flavour of a travel vlog, but have a certain pitch to them, have a certain direction that they're trying to guide the viewer on. And what we're seeing more and more often are creators who are saying, hey, look at this latest video, look at this beautiful aspect of this stunning green vista. And by the way, you can buy into this community for this, or you can buy into my community for that, and I've got a plan for you. So what we're seeing is travel type vlogs that are really, in essence, trying to compel you to buy into something, whether it's a community or into a concept that someone's got for a community. Hey, everyone's got to work out their own way. But where I find it objectionable, to the point that I'm making this video, is when you never hear about the pros and cons, because the people making this content don't know the pros and cons. It's impossible to know anything really about any given area when you've spent just enough time in any area to deploy a drone or to take some panoramic vision, to drive your motorbike through and do a bit of exciting 360-degree video of it. It's a nice thing to watch. It really isn't giving you anything. It has no calories. It's just showing you through a part of a country that you probably have never seen before and may never travel to. But when the person creating it uses that footage to try and suggest that these areas would be a viable option for you, it's a very dangerous situation. And I'm not saying hypothetically dangerous, I'm saying in practical terms, We have seen several examples of people who have fallen for such content and made financial investment decisions that have been life-changing for the worse. The first thing we should be doing is spending time, which we always say on this channel. Don't do anything until you come and experience. And the really important reason for that is because there's many things that we cannot say or won't say on this channel, and creators on other channels also won't say. There are things about any country that if you were to say them online, you would either really peeve someone off to the extent that it wouldn't be good for you, or you could jeopardise your relationship with that country. And there are also other spin-offs that I don't even want to go into. Suffice to say that not all of the pertinent information about any country comes out in videos like this. We are more censored in this world than what we realise, and it's not until you start making content that you actually really come to appreciate that. The other thing that I would always question with anyone giving any information about any place that's designed for a purpose more than just to give a nice travel type vloggy experience is, what experience do you have in that area? Have you lived there? Have you actually laid your head down at night and lived in those places? Have you lived with those communities? Have you invested in that community that you are so adamant is just the best investment that anyone could ever make? Have you actually developed any type of community that you're talking about? Have you even been involved in one? The jury's in regards to buying into any sort of shared community thing. The reading that I've done puts it at somewhere near 90% of all communities that are proposed fail very shortly thereafter. Go by your own common sense. I know that just about any community I can ever think of that's been attempted has failed. Those communities that do tend to succeed are ones that are truly hardcore and most people wouldn't be capable of hacking. I'm talking about communities like some of the religiously based communities here in Paraguay. They've come and done superhuman things. They've settled in areas that most humans would have thought would almost be impossible to live in. And they haven't only survived, but in some cases they've thrived. And I think they're absolutely extraordinary people. But I couldn't do that. And most people out there couldn't do that. Even though I've lived off grid and built our own structures and lived without electricity and drank from our stream. But when I look at those sort of situations, man, that's another level. But I see people who have never even lived outside of a capital city or a major settlement who are getting around, proposing communities. And the first question I'd ask is, well, show me one example where you've either done it or even been involved in it. No, not researching it, that's not quite the same. Or knowing of some communities that did it, that's not quite the same either. Because Paraguay is a very particular country. You can't underestimate the degree to which you really need to have your ducks in a row to make that work. Not to say it can't work, but you really have to put in the work before you even think about going there. The first thing you need to be able to do is identify the right place to be. And the second thing you need to be able to establish is if you are capable of making it in that place. Because if you can't answer those questions in the affirmative, well, just putting your trust and money in the hands of people that promise to take all your problems away, they're often the first steps towards a really unfortunate outcome. And we've seen it more than once. The thing that we most want for you is just to at least be informed and to be armed with an alternate view. Anyone that is on the track of wanting to go down the path of developing whatever they want to develop with others, good luck to them. But please be honest about it. Be honest not only with others, but with yourself. It's okay to dream while it's your own future and money on the line. But when you're encouraging other people to do it, well, I think it's just a responsible thing to be realistic and make sure that you know what you're talking about. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to information that's being put out there about Paraguay. There are some stunning places here. If I do travel further afield from the places that I speak highly of and cover them in videos, I will do it just like a casual observer, and I'll make that very clear to you. Hey, this is a nice place, but I know nothing about it, and I don't know whether it would be a good place to rest your head for a night or a decade or the rest of your life. To do anything else, I think, is disingenuous. I think it can be potentially misleading, and it can have lifelong ramifications to people who will follow in our footsteps. That's it for what it's worth. I wish everyone well who's making their way to Paraguay and trying to find a future here, including those people that are proposing different ways of doing things. But if I see that they're just spinning a line or just presenting it in a way that isn't presenting the truth, I think that it would be a waste of this channel if I just let it slide and just watch people fall into a hole, because I've seen it. Already, I've seen people who have actually walked along certain paths because exactly that type of content has been followed, and it really has impacted on people's lives. This video may be a bit self-serving in that regard. I just want to be able to sleep at night and know that I've done what I can. We all have to live with our own conscience. Anyone that's got any queries or questions, please post your comments below. And just to reiterate, we don't ever claim or consider ourselves to be the sole source of truth when it comes to Paraguay or anything else. We just seek to put out information as we understand it and learn it, and try and help others benefit from it. And we just hope that others do likewise. And if everyone else does, well, then there'll be a good resource of people to make the best decisions they can. Sí, yeah, perfecto, sí. And so that's what it's all about, just making the right decisions, getting the right directions so that you can make it down to the park and have a lovely day in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. At least I think so. Maybe not as spectacular as some, not the best beaches, but hey, I think the most beautiful thing about this country are the people. But that's just my opinion as always, and everyone's welcome to theirs. So until next time, take care. Ciao.